Welcome to the Model Rail Replacement Podcast, helping you get to your onward journey. A friendly service that helps you get from A to B, or probably nowhere at all. Hello and welcome to the Model Rail Replacement Podcast. I'm your host, James, and with me is co-host and producer,
Sam.
Hello, Sam. And also, he snuck in through the back door, but we spotted him anyway. It's Tom. Hello, Tom.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm very good, thank you. How are you guys?
Yeah, we're all good. Now, the trouble of what we're doing right now is Steve and co are going to try and claim that we've stole their idea of having three presenters at the start and end of the show. But
Yeah, but three capable presenters, it's a very different thing.
this is true. This is very true.
And it's the millennial version of the show. It's the 20 years prior to.
And the rest.
But yes, I'm good. I hope you both are too. This is very weird for me because usually we only ever have guests in the middle section, so I don't know how I'm doing that thing where I don't know what to do with my hands.
I'm glad I can't see your hands.
Tom's just spilled over into the sides, kind of thing.
I'll keep quiet. You carry on.
Oh no, we like your opinion. I mean, I can keep this pretty short in terms of hobby.
You are pretty short, yeah.
Yeah. Oh no, James, this was a mistake. Why did we let him in? In terms of hobby, I've been frantically working on parts of our Christmas special. I guess let's break the news now. Emperor's Path as a weathering and repaint company no longer exists. To the person who's responsible for that, well done.
Very sad news, but I understand.
Thanks, mate.
However, Western Sigmund Weathering will be starting up next week. But if you want your model weathered, you'll be waiting a long, long time. As anyone knows, I take absolute weeks just to do one loco. So,
Yeah, but so did Sam, though, to be fair.
that's true. I mean, that's probably what caused all that problems in the first place. It just wasn't quick enough.
Yeah.
He's only little. He has to run
has
from
to
one
be,
end of the loco to the other to weather. It's like a full-size loco to him.
Anyway, James, what have you been up to?
What have I been up to? What have I been up to? Oh, I have been working on one of my 4D prints or the Peter Sam chassis. And I've been trying to see if I could do. There's a piece of valve gear that on the 3D print is obviously printed, but on the real loco it moves. But Bachmann never put it on there because obviously they based the chassis on the Thomas the Tank Engine model, and it really, 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 really annoys me that this piece of valve gear is missing. And I've been trying to work out if I could model my own and make my own, and I concluded that no, I do not have the skill sets to do such a thing. So I'm hoping that 4Ds will make a kit in the future to put onto that model because they have started doing these valve gear kits, as our friend George was showing us what he's done to number 6, number 7 of his fleet of locos. But on top of that, I've decided that the chassis was nowhere near detailed enough, and I've been adding bits of brake shoes and brake rigging, etc., underneath, and it makes no end of difference, just that tiny little bit of detail. So, yeah, I've been up to that. Oh, and I came second in the Rail200 competition, but yeah.
What competition?
There was Peco ran this little competition. I don't know if you realise that the railways are 200 years old this year, so they just asked people to make these little module layouts, and
And you came second, did you?
I came second. Yeah,
Well done.
thank you very much. Yeah, a TT layout beat me, which I'm very suspicious of. Because Sam gets nominated for Hornby Magazine Awards. TT layouts beat me in a model competition. I think there's some conspiracy going on here in the TT community, and
You just can't take a win, can you? Even when you're doing well and you're on top or almost on top, you still just can't accept something good has happened to you. You still have to make it a conspiracy theory about how somehow you're downtrodden and the world is
I'm
against you.
genetically programmed not to take praise.
The second best modeler.
You're you're £100 better off than you were, and still somehow you're the
I,
plight of the
well,
world.
you say that. I had to drive to Peterborough to deliver the layout, so I'm already out of pocket in fuel. So we
Tom,
would talk about that later. Yeah, what's Tom been up to? What modelling has Tom been doing?
What have I been doing? Um,
You've been painting, haven't you? Or finished your painting?
I've finished, yeah, my painted buildings that I ended in the summer, announced the end of them. I've finally finished the orders that I had through, because I had suddenly had loads of orders at once from people who wanted their buildings painted. So this week I've finally got those out, which is a good feeling. So I've been doing that. I've been buying things. I've just ordered the Hellion Class 28, which is your fault, because I wanted a
Yes, Sam.
Boco the first time
Yeah.
round, and then they all sold out, and then now they're back. So that should be arriving tomorrow. But yeah, that's work modelling and getting things ready for the NEC, which is, as we're listening to this weekend coming. So that's going to be obviously a big thing. It's always a big show. So
are you there as a
yeah,
a trade this year, or are you there as a punter?
I'm there as a trade. I'm there as a YouTuber. I'm there as a Peco finalist, but not winner. And yeah, so I'm very much there all weekend in lots of different. I'm wearing lots of different hats, not literally, although I could.
You could. Yeah. I've offered to wear lots of different hats for Model U because I think I'm going to go for both days this year. So I was like, I'm going to go in the car on Sunday, so I can actually just bring my kit bag and then I get myself scanned in
Are
various.
you going to dress in period clothing as well
Well,
for like your
yeah,
009?
I want myself as a sort of a period two, maybe period three signaler or
Yeah, that'd be
signalman,
cool.
as it would have been known back then.
Sat on the
But
toilet.
yeah, that's it. But yeah. But I thought, well, whilst I'm there, I'll just bring those bits along so they can scan me for so they have a modern signalman, etc. Um,
And is little Sam going?
No, no, that's too far for me, I'm afraid.
You don't have to walk there.
It's Mordor, effectively Mordor.
It
Um,
is.
no, I'm showed out. Gets was good, but I've never done big shows until this year, and I did Ali Pali and I did Gets, and they're really good, but they just exhaust me. And
Yeah, they're a big thing to do because it ends up being a lot of walking, a lot of talking, and especially when people keep talking to you, you have to keep talking back, and it can be feel like a lot of work. I know what you mean.
yeah, but I've got eyes on the ground in the form of yourselves and other people going, so it's always nice. I like watching the sort of the roundups or the people's thoughts about it. So yeah, I like to sit at home and
You'll
just
be there in spirit.
yeah, yeah, I will. I think please don't have a little toy version of me going around. It's like Paddington, but but it's got my
There
face on
will
it.
be. I mean, you're on the Model U stand,
I was about to
so
Yeah,
I'm
say,
sure
yeah.
there'll be a few of you there.
Yeah. If Chris, if you're listening, if you could just get a Sam figure painted up for us, and we'll just take him around the show on the weekend. Come
Life
collect him.
size.
a one-to-one scale, just my head.
Yeah.
Actually, Chris, for my own enjoyment, can you do a one-to-one scale of my head? Asking for a friend. Um, cool. Okay, so yeah, hobby-wise, we've all got some bits coming up, and we've got some bits that we've been up to. I guess some of Tom's stuff as well is going to leak into the news today, so I guess he's being deliberately coy about
No, I've
Yeah.
just forgotten.
Done.
Don't worry, mate. I'll tee you up for this one. Don't you worry.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah,
Shall we go to the news then?
yeah. Let's do it. What we got?
What do we have? Well, as of Friday just gone, Rapido have come along with an announcement of a new locomotive. And this looks fabulous. Yeah, I think it's the first time ever. It's an Atlantic class, but it doesn't have a tender. It's the LNER C12 442 tank with 12 different versions are available to pre-order. So there's plenty to choose from. They're covering a number of tooling variants to go over the different batches over the years that are built, including different chimneys, domes, tank styles, coal rails, and condensing apparatus. Liveries are going to cover the Great Northern Railway, LNER, and BR eras. So, yeah, highly detailed die-cast metal and injection molded construction, lots of separate fitted era-specific details, firebox flicker with dynamic fire draw effect, factory fitted speaker, smooth running mechanism fitted with Mo Power Stay Alive and an E24 DCC decoder socket, N coupler pocket, should I say, uh, N363 on the front and M362 on the rear, just for your information. And yeah, they're available to pre-order now. So yeah, these are great. Some wonderful liveries in there. Uh,
It's
we've got
it
obviously.
it feels like there's a lot of black liveries in there,
I
but
was just
obviously,
about to say that.
like
It's mostly black. It's
yeah.
75% black.
Is this a little bit like this is my comparison thing? Is this like a Jones Good Scottish Loco type thing without a tender? Is that what it is? Because it looks very similar to some of the locos that Rapido have announced or brought out recently, and it looks really nice. And I think in my head, I'm just looking at the wheel arrangement, and I think, oh, it looks like the tender locos they've done recently.
Yeah, possibly they've used similar chassis CAD design maybe to sort of cover tooling costs. I couldn't say. Sure, the Jones Good's got more driving wheels than that, though, isn't it?
I don't know. I mean, it's steam and out of area for me, so it's not like does it look nice? Yes or no? I'm not entirely
Sure, the
sure.
Jones Goods is either got 6 or 8 coupled wheels.
But
The grey's very nice. If that's grey, I think it's
Yeah, the
all very
photographic
light grey.
grey, isn't it?
Yeah.
So yeah, you've got the Jones Goods is definitely 6 coupled wheels, but there's the other Jones that they announced, which was the Lock class, which is maybe that's what you're thinking of, Sam, which
yeah,
is the full
probably.
4 row tender.
But
But
yeah, it does look nice.
yeah,
I really like it.
yeah, the photographic GNER grey looks very, very nice. Obviously, they've got 2 variations of GNER green, and as you say, there's a lot of black. There's LNER plain black, LNER lined. Then they've got down to like northeastern lettering on the side, which I think is like wartime lettering. There's plain British Railways, Sandskill lettering on the side, early cycling lined, and then the Lake Crest BR lined as well. So yeah, they look really smart. Not my era. I don't need to start modelling Great Northern. I'm sure some of our listeners will insist that we do model that sort of thing. But hey, at
Well, it
least we're
does
talking about the
exist,
North.
It does exist.
That's it. They were happy. They were happy that Newcastle got mentioned last week. So I'm trying to fill the map in that they're slowly drawing on Instagram. So I thought I'd throw a few names in there. So I'm going to throw Carlisle in there, Middlesbrough, Sunderland. We'll have South Shields,
I've never heard you mention the East Midlands.
East Midlands. Yeah,
As
that's
an
it.
East
Yeah.
Midland, as a Midlander, East Midlander, I think I should throw. This is just for
What,
Finborough Engage to update the map.
what do you want? Do you want
Nottingham,
Derby, Nottingham?
Lincoln, Leicester,
Norwich.
yeah, Derby. Norwich isn't the East Midlands.
It is. It's eastern in the mids.
That's East Anglia.
That's East.
Nah, it's miles above London.
You
There's
little
no way.
southern boy.
There's absolutely no way that you can tell me that Norwich is not Midlands.
It's not
No,
Midlands.
no, Norwich is actually where actually you go to the
Is
Linton.
Wales the Midlands, Sam?
No, it's West Country simply because it is pretty much to get to Wales, you have to travel on the M4, so it's below the Watford Gap, therefore it's in the south.
That's South Wales, but okay.
Goodness sake.
Is it past the Watford Gap? It's north.
I mean, you can travel past the Watford Gap, and then you get to travel off towards Birmingham, and then round
North.
Birmingham and go to
That's
North
the
Wales that way.
Midlands.
North. I mean,
Yeah.
Watford Gap is pretty much my limit of where it's considered Midlands. All right. That was quite grumpy, even for you.
Well,
Did
I'm
we
a
mention
proud East
Northumberland? Is that
Midlander,
in
and
there?
I've lived in every county more or less.
Was
Because they won't
Norwich
let me
one of
stay in
them?
one for too long.
Norwich is not a county.
It's not in the East Midlands.
Thing is, there's no point me being like, oh, I know someone out there will agree with me. They won't. Not one of you
They
agrees with
won't.
me
No,
because the only people who are more south than me is the Isle of Wight.
that's true.
That is very true. Yeah.
I mean, by comparison, everything is north of me.
Well, it
But
depends
the
how
folks
far
in
you go,
Jersey,
though.
they're even more south, aren't they?
You went
Yeah,
all the way around the world.
I mean, Jersey's basically French, right?
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Anyway, moving back to trains, what else have Rapido got for us, James?
Yeah, so the other items is new liveries announcements, I think, some special liveries for the LNWR forthcoming breakdown they're making. There's two of them, so they're keeping up with the Guy Fawkes gunpowder theme, with having that in a sort of a maroon red color with the usual Guy Fawkes branding. And the one that looks very, very cool, and I'm pretty certain this is a Jason influence, as in Jason at Rapido, who is a massive Hoovian. We've got the brake fan coloured like a police box of traditional, or as probably most people would now know it, the TARDIS from Doctor Who. So yeah, it's got police van written on the side. It's in the police box blue with the notice on the side. It looks very cool. I'm not going to lie. I'm very tempted to order that.
It's very nice. I like the
Yes.
blue anyway.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Do you think
it's a
it's
nice colour.
any coincidence that it's come out a couple of weeks after the Hornby announcement of the Class 37 police livery?
You could
uh,
run them together, couldn't you?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I mean, I'm
Yeah.
not suggesting that it's actually linked in any way, but it would be cool to have
I
them
wonder.
together.
Yeah.
I wonder if you
Actually, I've just
can.
noticed another cool little detail on it, which is obviously another Doctor Who reference. Its running number is K9. There we go.
That's very
Yeah.
cool. I wonder if you could program a DCC chip to play the Bill theme tune on the Class 37 as it's booming it round.
Did it, did it, did it. You can just get the horn to do that bit.
You know, I was tempted to order one of those, but they're only bringing it out DCC from what I can tell. I don't model DCC, but I wanted it just for the. I mean, I'm sure you could get a flashing light to work on DC.
Yeah,
So just
probably.
Yeah, yeah. My dad used to have like these fuel containers. I think like they were by Bala or something, and they had little flashing lights in the top of them. I remember them. So you can definitely get one in a loco, I'm sure. Do you know what? It's a bit strange that because obviously Bachmann do that when they now announce models, it's usually the option of DC, DCC or DCC sound kind of thing.
yeah,
I'm not quite sure why Hornby haven't moved into that market, but what do we know? We don't know anything about retail, right, Tom?
no, I don't.
No.
Speaking of Tom knowing about retail, Tom, rather than James telling us, what have you got coming out?
Well, Sam, as you well know, I've been bullied into releasing a model in TT120. So my AW drying company that I announced a couple of weeks ago, which is an open wagon in a blue and red and white and black livery, which is very pretty, will be coming out in TT120, which Peco are making for us. So yeah, they're available to pre-order, and they're due in I think second quarter next year. So probably about just after Easter at the earliest, I reckon.
Nice. I'm very excited about those. I've gone and pre-ordered one because I loved your initial Buggleskelly wagon, and then I even said on the show how much I really liked that AW Dry livery in that blue in double O. And then obviously when you said you were doing it in TT, I was like, yep, I will have that.
Yeah, well, you and Pichu bullied me into it, and a few other TT120 modelers. So there's a few of you to blame, but I do thank you for actually ordering one.
Yeah, thanks.
That's very kind.
It's a cool livery, and the other thing is, and we've said this before, is I'm pretty sure Hornby have deliberately picked certain models to attract Thomas TT modelers because you've got the J50, which was what Thomas was meant to be, so you can always repaint one of them. You've got the four-wheel coaches now; they can be your Annie and Clarabelle. You've already got an O 08 as diesel, so it just makes sense that you bring out a Thomas theme wagon and go with them.
Don't forget an
So when are you
A3
doing
with
your
Gordon.
TT120 Thomas layout then, James?
I've got enough going on. I'm already planning a 009 Railway Series layout. So yeah, I mean, obviously, as I was saying, the loco I'm working on is Stuart from the Mid Sodor Railway.
Yeah,
Um, so yeah, I don't. I don't think I need to start working with a TT Thomas themed layout. Someone's already done it anyway. I've seen someone do a Gordon and a Diesel in TT. They look really good. So
Awesome.
then I'm sure they'll be ordering your wagon. There we go. The other thing I wanted to talk about, and I think some other YouTubers and that have touched on it, but are you aware of the Dave Clark Model Railway exhibition?
I am, but only because of other people's videos.
Well, this is the thing, right? So, this is exactly how I've become aware of it, and I think the common theme is no one knew this railway existed. So it's Dave Clark has like I think it's called the Shuttlewood collection, not the Shuttleworth collection, because that's a collection of airplanes near Leighton Buzzard, not Leighton Buzzard, Biggleswade. Um, the
And I think
Shuttlewood Clark.
it's David Clark because Dave Clark was the Dave Clark 5. Dun, dun,
Uh,
dun, 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 dun,
Yes, it is David Clark. So yeah,
It's- yeah.
but as part of the exhibition, that they have his model railway, which is like a Great Western themed layout. I think all the locos are remote controlled. Tony's Trains of Rugby actually put a video up of the layout running the other day on his channel. If you go
Yes, I
watch it
watched
there,
Tony's video, yeah.
and it's
And
really
LGHP Media put out an overview of the situation as well on YouTube a couple of weeks ago. He chatted to me at Spalding's show about it. So yeah, I think it sounds like they're in a bit of a difficult situation with the people who own the trust, who own the building. I think
yeah.
is the point.
Yeah, that's yeah. It's a bit of a shame if it does go because it's a wonderful looking layout, and if the argument is no one's come to see it, that's because I don't think anyone in the railway community knew it existed. Yeah, I think it's a fabulous layout, and it definitely, like they say, it definitely needs saving. And there is a petition for people to sign, currently on 2,221 signatures. If you go to change.org and just search for "Stop the Closure of David Clark Model Railway." Dash Olvers Croft. You can find the petition to sign there. So, yeah, either try and get down to it and have a look when you can. It's not open on weekends, as far as I'm aware. Again, if you go watch Tony's video on Tony's Trains of Rugby channel, he actually has the sign in the video to tell you the opening times. So that's probably the best way to find out. But yeah, either try and go see it or do both. Sign the petition and go see it. There we are. Right, shall we go to the middle section?
Yes, but before we do that, James, we do need to just quickly talk about our weekly update on the fundraising. So, for those of you who have been living under rocks or simply just haven't been paying attention, we have been raising money for Cash for Kids. Our initial target was £300, smashed it. Then £1,000, smashed it. We are currently, as of the time of recording, on £1,715. So a massive thank you to anybody who has donated. Thanks, dude. To anyone who has donated and also anybody who has donated to the raffle. We are now at the point where we are being sent offers of new stuff to be added to the raffle, and we are we're struggling to keep on top of it in terms of until the stuff arrives, we kind of forget who has said what because there's so many generous people out there who are sending us all this stuff. So apologies. Once we've got it with us, we will write down who has sent us everything. But thank you so much to everyone.
Yeah, I'm struggling too. I know now I can't remember the name. I'll have to double check, but someone has offered a weathering service for a loco. Thank you very much. Someone offered us a kit that they do. I think it's the chap that makes the really
It was
lovely
Lee.
houses.
Lee LNR, I saw that.
Yes, that one. That's him. Yep. He's donated that one, so thank you very much for that.
Celebrity modeler now. He's about to be on the BBC
Oh,
Daytime. Some program about building dioramas. I can't remember what it's called, but yeah, coming soon. Lee on that.
oh,
He's a
that's
very
cool.
nice chap as well.
Very
So
cool.
yeah,
Very
that's
cool.
great.
But yeah,
Congrats,
he has.
Lee.
Yeah. So he's donated as well. Sawyer Models have also offered to donate, and they asked what we'd like. I did mention that there's no 009 in there at the moment, so they're going to have a little dig around and see what they can donate as well. So yeah, there's lots coming in. So thank you very much. My concern is packing it all up and sending it all out. It's
But
but
on the other hand, you don't have to buy Christmas presents now, so
no, that's when it's suspiciously Christopher Cayley and Brian win. Um,
all the 009.
yes. I can get away Cayley. She's got a different surname now. You'd never know it's my sister. So There we go. But yeah, thank you for everyone for donating. Thank you everyone who your donations for the raffle, your donations for the money. That is a really worthy charity. And as I say, this time of year, Cash for Kids like to raise money for what they call Mission Christmas, in which the aim is to try and put as many presents under the trees of less fortunate children, those in poverty, those in need, and those with special needs that need that just a little bit of help and care at this time of year. So thank you very much.
Yes, thank you. It's awesome.
And don't forget, we've got a very special Christmas episode coming, which also is in conjunction with this.
You won't know you won unless you listen to it.
Yeah.
Unless someone tells you.
I really hope you don't tell anyone, Tom.
Unless you read it in Railway Modeler a week before.
Speaking of Railway Modeler a week before, I think we should go and have a little chat about Peco's Rail200. What do you guys think?
Yeah, go on then.
Yeah, go on then.
It was a dark, rainy day in Porthbury, and Lord Chester stood in his porch with sorrow in his heart.
I can't believe he's gone, Wilson.
Yes, sir. It is all very sad. I have the car waiting. And, sir, you are going to leave it at home, as promised.
Yes, I'll leave it here.
Whilst in the car?
What will I do now, Wilson?
Maybe you'll have to learn to do it yourself.
I blame that bloke who kept badgering him about a poor job.
Right, sir. Well, here we are.
Wilson opens an umbrella and Lord Chester steps out of the car and surveys the funeral.
Oh, look, they're all here to pay their respects. There's John. He always loved his work. And there's my cousin, Lord Chester the First.
Chester, it's so good to see you. Such a terrible, terrible day.
It is. Oh, look, here comes the hearse.
There he is. I can't quite believe he's gone.
I know, but at least we'll have something to remember him by.
Sir, you promised not to bring that. Don't get it out here. Not at a funeral.
No, I'm getting it out. It's what he would have wanted.
Blimey, he's got his dirty shunner out.
I say, chaps, watch it. You're losing the coffin.
The coffin is dropped with a mighty crash. Sam's body falls out of the coffin. Oh, blimey! Quick, lads, help me get him back in.
Look at that.
So fresh. So clean.
Like he's straight out of the box.
And now, he's all dirty.
Oh, even in death he's still at it. A god amongst men.
Emperor's Path is now closed for business.
What should I do now, Wilson?
You could always treat yourself to a little loud.
Sam was little.
And we are back from our break. Well, we've talked about it in the initial start to this episode, but what more of a fitting time to talk about it than with two of the finalists of Peco's Rail200. So sat with me today. He's only ever been interviewed once on the podcast, and he hated every single second of it. But it's James from the Western Signalman and Tom from Buggleskelly Station. Guys, welcome back.
I didn't
That's
hate it.
that's not true. I've been interviewed twice on it.
What?
We did. We
I've
had
been
a new.
interviewed about 17 times, I think.
You have, yeah.
Why'd you have to ruin it? It's the one time I got to introduce a segment, and you just decide to ruin it.
Well, you lied. And we are a channel of truth.
I mean, technically, neither of us were interviewed for that episode. We just asked the questions. I I'd say that was a very loose episode, if that's what you're calling it. Anyway, we're here to talk about Rail 200. I thought it'd be really interesting to sit down and just ask you guys both some questions about it, about what made you decide to do it and what your feelings throughout the process were. So, if you're happy with that, we'll go ahead and just start chatting about it.
I just wanted to win the money.
See now why you've only been interviewed once. You're actually very difficult to interview as a person.
Can I just start by saying congratulations to James for his runner-up, that is second place at the second best modeler in the standalone 16 and over category. For those who don't know, there are four categories, and standalone basically meant anything that wasn't modular, so not to fit onto the double O gauge modular setup that is planned for the NEC. So yeah, he did very well.
Yeah, thank you very much. And obviously, getting into the final yourself, you also did a grand job. I thought you were going to win it personally. I thought
Well,
you
thank you. I mean, it's not a fair world, is it?
well. It's I think it's one of the things that Sam touched on was the slight fluid nature of the rules because when I started, I think it was just the same as everyone else, wasn't it? It was kind of a case of it was announced in Railway Modeler, I think maybe on social media as well, that they're going to run the competition, what categories were there, and obviously you could do the module or you could do the standalone. There was over 16 and under 16. And that was kind of it for the rules because people were kind of like, well, what do you want? What, is it got to be 200 years of railway themed? Has it got to be something in there related to that? But it just was very much a case of just build what you like, long as it's model railway. Yeah, as I say,
Yeah, I think that probably was a problem with it, that it wasn't as well. I'm not saying it wasn't well thought out, but it was obviously the first time they've done it, and there were a lot of things that people weren't 100% sure about. Like, I had to email to clarify a couple of things about whether you could put a back scene on that was further off the edge than the specified amount, or if the back scene had to be included in the footprint of the diorama, and also the height of it. It only said in small bit on the website in like the rules and very small terms and conditions that there was a height limit, and I know a couple of people who said, "Oh, I didn't even realise that," and they'd submitted it over the 14 centimetre height limit, which is a shame, really.
yeah,
Yeah,
but it all became apparent why I had the 14 centimeter height, didn't it? Because if you ordered the board, it came flat pack, and then arrived in a massive box,
yeah.
and then yeah, when the finalists were picked and they asked us to deliver our layouts, all of a sudden that massive box made sense because obviously the dimensions were meant to fit in the big box, so you could send it to Pico if you so wished to put it in the post.
But that
I-
again wasn't explained because I scrapped that box as soon as I built it. And I know again a few people who picked them up from, I think, the York show or something, and they weren't given the box there. So
yes.
again, it's just one of those things. But it's obviously worked out in the end for, I assume, for the people who are taking their layouts to the NEC.
Well, that's it, isn't it? I think at the end of the day, there was a number of complaints from people, and obviously the rules were a little fluid of how kind of it was going to be judged, etc. But I think the main part of it was, and I don't know about you, but I just enjoyed getting the opportunity to build a layout because I just decided I'm going to build a micro layout,
Yeah,
and that was it because. In my head, I was like, well, if I'm going to put my time and money into this, I want something out of it, not just the pot. If I win, that's great, brilliant. But if I don't, I want a layout out of it at least that I can actually make use of and enjoy, not just. And so that's why I opted for the standalone because I thought, well, I'm going to build something on here that I can make use of rather than the module one's kind of a bit. Although, in fairness, Dudley Central, who congratulations won the module, spoilers by the way, but who won the module over 16s, his build of Birmingham New Street. To be honest, the second place of the London Underground as well, also superb. Both very similar themes in which they're just a section of the station, and then they've got other bits going on in the background. But yeah, Dudley Central's New Street build in particular made real good use of the fact that he's got the modular bit of track at the front, but he still turned it into a working layout with a fiddle yard at either end. So it was quite clever, really.
Yeah, there's obviously a lot of thoughts gone into that from because that was I mean that was the reason I chose not to do the modular was for the same thing. I wanted to have something at the end that would just be a standalone. I mean, mine's not a working layout. Mine is T gauge, and I'd never modelled in T gauge before. Don't think I'm going to model in T gauge again anytime soon because it was very tricky for my fat fingers to model in that scale. But I saw it as a challenge, really, and I thought if I don't do it for this, I don't think I'll do it again because I tend to build the dioramas that I build at the minute are all to display the buildings that I sell. So I do them for work and or for commissions for people. Whereas this diorama doesn't have any buildings on it. Well, it does have one ruin on it, which I didn't design myself. But the viaduct I designed and built, and the little van and the loco I printed from someone else's design. But I thought it was an opportunity to do this because I wouldn't do it for work because it doesn't serve any purpose other than for fun, and I don't give myself time to do things for fun. So I thought if I do it for this, I can get a YouTube video out of it, which has been popular, and it gives me a reason to actually model in a gauge that I've never worked in before.
So not exactly naff all, as one of the comments on Facebook was made.
No, not naff all at all.
I feel like I've taken over this. Because Sam's supposed to be.
So I naturally went into my background mode anyway. I was trying my hardest to do a James, but unfortunately, I mean, shock horror, I'm not that person. I guess so. The final things that you came out with your Pico 200, were they your first idea, or was it a case of you sat down and you had 20 different ideas and this is the one that won out? Or did you start with one and then go, actually no, this isn't what I want to do, and then change it? Or was it very much a case of both of these were your first ideas, you went through to the end of it, and you ended with these phenomenal 200 Rail 200 boards?
Well, personally, it wasn't my first idea. My first idea was actually to do a modular. Despite what I've just said, I originally thought, could I do something with a line going through the front and then some sort of factory slightly raised up above it with a 009? That's what I was thinking of doing. But I also thought, I don't know if it's too, if it would be too much in the time that I had, because I gave myself a month. I didn't do anything for the summer and then realised I've got a month left. And I thought, I don't have time to design the factory and stuff that I want to do and 3D print it all for this project. So I decided against that at the end and then went for a T gauge, just because I wanted to see how much scenery I could fit into a small space. And I thought, I just wanted the challenge, really. So yeah, it wasn't my first original idea, but I'm glad I went with it in the end because it was obviously different enough to make the shortlist. And I think it wouldn't have got anywhere near the ones that actually won that modular, because they are, a lot better than the original idea that I had.
Okay. And James, for yourself?
Yeah, I ran through several ideas. My first was to go to 009 because it's my favorite gauge. But I was like tempted to just pick somewhere off my fictional map and make another location to go with my aura, the other layouts that I'm building. But then I kind of talked myself out of it, thinking, well, no, it'd be completely made up railway of made up rolling stock, and it all completely fictional. And I just don't know if that would be good enough for the competition. But again, there wasn't really any rules of what you could and couldn't make. And seeing the under 16, I think he's the runner up. Turns out that the fantasy is absolutely fine. I've got the railway model in front of me, I just grab it.
That's amazing. His the runner up, the Kraken one.
Yeah.
That's really clever.
So yeah, George Fearon, 13 years old, done a Kraken based layout. So it's like the modular one with a Kraken just grabbing a coach and dragging it into the sea. It's awesome. It's really cool. And then there's obviously Brampton Bridge by Hugo Sands, who won the under 16 competition there with a lovely little GWR branch line with a main line going over the top of it. So obviously, I probably could have done that. And the other thing was, I thought about doing
I don't think you
railway
could have entered
series.
the under 16s, James. I don't think they would have
Well,
let you.
I did try. I did it in Lenny's name, but they obviously found me out because Lenny didn't get anywhere with his, did he? So,
Well,
but,
Lenny's was very good.
it was, yeah. I mean, maybe we'll cover that in a bit because I feel the fluidness of maybe the rules and maybe putting allowing a 7-year-old to go up against a 13-year-old isn't quite fair. But yeah, back to ideas. I did think about doing something railway series themed as well, but again, I was like, I don't know if doing something that's basically Thomas the Tank Engine is a good idea or not. Is that going to please the judges, or is that sort of not going to get me anywhere? I toyed with TT because again I've talked about doing Scottish Highland based layout, and I thought about doing something that's sort of based around a harbour station, sort of a bit like Fort William or something like that. But the length of the board wasn't quite long enough to fit a loco with a couple of coaches on and sort of turning it because I still wanted to do micro layout. That was always in my head. Like, I want this to be a layout. I want to get something out of this. So in the end, it was actually the Scale P class that I had that because it's so small. I think it's actually shorter than the Terrier. I sort of played around with it and I looked at it. I was like, I think I can actually build a sort of terminus line with a little run round loop and a siding. I think I could just about squeeze this in here if I use a Peco freeway point. So yeah, I sort of come up with that idea, and I've been a bit inspired by a layout called Old Parrock, which has been on the exhibition circuit for a couple of years now. It's a lovely, again, it's like a light railway, London Brighton, stroke southeastern Chatham sort of type layout, set in anywhere between era two to the sort of the start of era five. It's a lovely layout on the exhibition circuit. So that was sort of in my mind's eye of building a condensed version of that.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what I went with.
That's really cool, and it sounds like because I'm your friend's associate's colleague or whatever. I obviously
I say
sat.
we were friends.
Oh, thanks. I needed one of you to say it. Definitely not the person I spend at least 3 hours a week recording with. I mean, yeah, he really stepped up there, didn't he? Anyway,
Sorry, I zoned out.
you started thinking of George Williams and how much you love him.
He's
And
my best friend.
and for me, I chose not to enter it because I was dealing with all the stuff of trying to get a layout and stuff sorted in my own right. But I really enjoyed from the Rail200 point of view. One of my favorite things was sort of watching both of you build yours eventually when you did, Tom. Obviously, you did leave it quite late, but at the same time, you then had it ready for the Rapido Rail exit in mid-September. And it was really nice to see both of them grow and see them because obviously we send them in our little group chat and we send all of our little project updates and it's quite nice. And you do feel a little bit special when you see something and then in sort of like 2 weeks later you see it in the YouTube video and you go, oh, I got to see that before everyone else did. And I said about James's, I really enjoyed the color composition that James's layout had, and especially when he's got all of the good time green. Is that what it's called? The best green or whatever that particular.
Improved engine green.
Thank you. The
Good
one that
time, Creed.
the chicken
Not
korma
green.
green. The it with the autumnal trees and stuff that you did on there, it was really, really good. And for me, from like a painting and color theory side of it, I've said how much I enjoyed seeing your layout, and then with Tom's, I said about how it was really nice having that blue ScotRail loco on there as the sort of the big contrast to the colors of the greys and the greens and the stuff like that. And
Mm.
that's I think with Tom's especially because it's in T gauge, you don't appreciate how good it is for detail and how much Tom's actually managed to fit. I'm saying this as if you're not here. It's really impressive how much detail you've managed to fit on it, Tom. And the little
Cheers. Yeah.
T gauge Tom that's on the layout is phenomenal. Like you think, oh yeah, you could paint that. And then I looked at it and went, oh, I couldn't paint that. There's no
Yeah.
way I would
Well,
have been able
that
to paint
wasn't.
that.
I had no intention of adding figures because it's T gauge and it would be ridiculous. But then Chris at Model U messaged me basically saying, "Yeah, just watch this space." And I think because when he sent them over to me, he sent three of these little figures, and he said it was harder work printing that in T gauge than it was rigging any O gauge model up because of the you have to. I know what goes into rigging models for print, so I would never attempt it for T gauge. So I think credit must go to Chris at Model U for that, for even attempting it, um, which is insane. Uh, he is insane, and also the guys at Specialist Aggregates as well, um, for to make ballast in T gauge, which does just look like dust, but it was real ballast. It wasn't just dust. It actually behaved like double O gauge ballast would, but
Mm.
obviously a lot smaller. So there's things like that which you don't think about unless you model those scales.
Yeah,
Even people who model those scales don't think about those things because they're ridiculous.
it's really cool. I guess my next question is, out of your build, what was your favorite thing that you did, or your favorite part of the process? Like, what was the thing that gave you the most amount of joy doing this project? Because effectively, I guess with this sort of thing, we all joke about like prize money and stuff like that, but would you had to have enjoyed it to get to the level of finishing it that you have, and obviously the fact that you've both managed to be published in the magazines as being finalists for it. So, James, to start with you. What was your favourite part of your build doing this 200 board?
Well, in truth, the bit I enjoyed most about it was doing Lenny's one.
Okay,
Watching Lenny work on his. That
I was going to
was
say, I thought he did his.
yeah. I recorded it. I mean, I did the cutting for him with the knife. Obviously, I'm not going to give him a knife and a ruler and here you go, lad. But everything else, I just he told me what he wanted to do. I told him how to do it, and then he'd go and do it, and I'd watch him do it, and obviously we recorded it and such. And I really enjoyed that side of things, and so and I think that was kind of what the aim of this was, to try and attract a lot of younger builders, which I think it did. Reading the article, they said they had quite a number of younger modelers enter, so that's a nice thing to hear. Um, on my own, I'm torn between either building those working ground signals, which were an absolute nightmare to try and construct, but once I got them working, I was so pleased. Um, that I'd done it. I was going to build three, but they were so fiddly. I was like, no, I'm having two. I'll just put a main aspect signal on the goods line, even though it shouldn't be there. I'll just make up an excuse of why it's there. But yeah, it was either that or the trees. The trees came out so well.
The trees are
Uh,
excellent. It
thank you.
reminds me of there's a layout. Is it Tullendalloch? I'll probably pronounce that. James,
Oh,
pronounce it
the
properly for me.
Scottish one with
Yeah,
all autumnal trees around it. Yeah, it's a beautiful layout, isn't it?
yeah, and that yeah, the colours that you got, like Sam said, the way that it complements the locos and the building colours and stuff. It really makes it stand out. So I
Yeah,
think you did very well with them.
yeah. Thank you. Yeah, I think autumn's not very often modelled, but I think it's a great season to do.
Yeah,
And in truth, those sort of colours on the trees are only like a very small window of probably around mid-October to mid-November. So it really sort of limits where you're modelling. But apart from that, I think the trees always look much more prettier in those sort of colours. And one of the things I always find amusing is, everyone models summer and they all want lights in their buildings. You're like, well, why have you got lights in your buildings? Because it's not dark until 11 o'clock, technically, if you're modeling summer. So, at least my buildings have lights in and have a reason to be on because, it's dark by about 5, 6 in the evening, when the services are still running, kind of thing. So, but yeah, yeah, I was really pleased how they come out. I think because there was those Bachmann 3D printed armatures, and they look awful on their own. And I sure I'd read it somewhere. Someone said, they made use of them by putting CMOS on there, and I'd got a box of CMOS that was rubbish. It was no good to actually make any trees out of because it was like one of those years when CMOS just wasn't growing very well. But they were still selling it, and I bought a box, and it was just crap. And I was like, well, if I chop these up and glue that on there, I might actually be able to make a tree out of this. And yeah, I did. So that's now my chosen preferred method of tree making as well. As I found a big, massive bag of those armatures at Tony's Trains the other week in his second-hand store. I was like, I'm having that. Yeah. What about you, Tom? What was yours?
The technically the bit that I enjoyed the most was probably painting up the rocks and things because I thought I've never done proper mountains like I say, on a big scale, on a large area, even though it's a tiny scale. I enjoyed that sort of painting up the rocks and bringing the scenics to life in that scale. That was enjoyable, and also doing the river, which was something I was a bit worried about because I've never properly modelled water, and this was just using gloss coat, and I think I was quite pleased with how it came out in the photos. So yeah, they were both good fun.
Yeah, no, I did. The water looks magnificent. It looks wonderful. Yeah, and as you say, just a gloss coat. So simple, yet so effective. Especially obviously you took the board out to photograph in natural light. Um,
That always helps. That's one thing I do really enjoy is when you get if you time it right and you get a good sky. This was just after a storm that I went out. That adds so much to the photos. So maybe I cheated a bit really because the sky is doing a lot of the heavy lifting in my pictures.
Okay, so we talked about what your favorite parts were. So let's talk about maybe the not so great, the parts that might cause you some problems, or the parts of the actual process or the competition in itself. Because I know there's been some points that people have made across the since the Rail 200 competition was announced. Is there anything about this or the parts that were your sort of your least favorite of it? James, once again, we'll start with you.
well, I gotta be glad I don't live in Scotland, I think, for various reasons. The postage being one of them, which it didn't start out too great, did it? Something it's like 30 quid to get your board out
Yeah,
there or something
they
like that.
did rectify that, but initially I saw a lot of comments from people who somebody messaged me about it who lived in Edinburgh, and he said he'd ordered one to his friend in Newcastle because it was £5 to England and £30 to Scotland. Which I thought that's obviously it's got to be a mistake because I know Highlands and Islands usually has a higher postage cost, but the whole of Scotland that was a bit of an oversight, I think.
Yeah, but yeah, he said they did rectify it. Um, I think
But on that, sorry James, I just remembered on that for Scotland, there didn't seem to be a Scottish shop on the list of drop-off points as well because I
no,
know
there
that
wasn't.
was
No, which
yeah
made me wonder. Maybe that's why they put the postage up so high in the first place.
to stop people entering.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I'm gonna get mine revoked at this point, and I for
Yeah,
comment. It's no, yeah. I think obviously, like you said, this was I think a bit of a learning curve in this competition. So kind of the first time I think Pico have really done anything like this. So I think you've got to give them a bit of credit in the fact that mistakes will probably be made in places. I think the most sticky part and the sticking point of it is the fact that as we said, it turned from a model competition to a photographic competition because it was
yeah.
never really specified how they were going to judge these layouts. So you were kind of like, oh yeah, you were sent the pack with the board, and it said, fill this in. You can either send it in the post or go online and fill in this form and submit some photos. The online form would only allow you to submit 4 photos. When I picked my photos, I'd done exactly the same as Tom. I'd taken the layout outside into natural light to photograph it because models always look better in natural light. Um, and say maybe it is cheating, I don't know, but at the end of the day, you use what you got. And I had some sunshine. I'd waited for sunshine so I could take mine out and film it in some sun, which I just think gives better shadow on the models and picks out and highlights.
I
'Cause
don't think it's cheating at all.
Yeah, it brings out the detail, I think, when you're using the natural light, which is the same like with the magazine article I'd done the previous month.
Yeah,
Again,
I think
I
if it
take
had been a case of everyone having a perfectly lit studio, it wouldn't be fair. But everyone's got access to, well, yeah, everyone's got access to outdoors.
yeah, yeah, everyone can get to the sun. So,
Well, I wouldn't
um,
say that.
yeah, well.
Not round these parts.
But yeah, it was a case of I think most of us had submitted our entries, and then the announcement was in the Railway Modeler of how they were going to judge it, and it was a case of they were going to get the photos and they were going to basically with their judges and Pete Waterman have a look at the photos and pick the finalists that way. And I think that did upset a lot of people because there were some that were of the opinion that I'm not the best at photography. I didn't take the best photos. I just thought I just had to show you what I'd made. I thought it would just get picked and then judged in person.
Yeah,
Because Peachy springs to mind. I think we've already touched on this. And he admits, his photos weren't brilliant. And I've seen his module at Gets, and yeah, his photos didn't do justice to the work that he'd done on it. And I'm sure there's other modelers that are probably the same. So it was a little bit of a curveball to throw that one in there. Because I picked four photos, one of them obviously of the whole board, and then three of details. But I didn't put everything in there. I wanted to entice the judges to want to pick my layout to see the rest of it. And so my photos didn't give away everything I've done on there.
yeah,
And I kicked myself for it at the time because I just thought, well, if I'd known that, I wouldn't have picked at least two of those photos. Because I haven't even shown you the other side of the board. Like the view through the trees with the leaves on the ground, I think is a spectacular view, but it didn't show off my modelling of what I'd done in so much of the scratch-built signal box and the station, and that they were just kind of just to the side. This was just the trees and the leaves, but I knew it looked like a really nice scene. I've got like the beehives in the corner. There's the postman collecting the mail. There's just all these little details, and even what's inside
where's
the
the postman
buildings.
from?
It's a little shop called Buggleskelly Station. I don't know if you've heard of it.
That's the winning ticket there. That's what did it, I think.
That's what did it. That's what did. Well, you say that, but the winner, I double checked who, when the obviously have been announced, and the module winner. Let me just open the page so I get the name
Oh,
right.
Justin Clayton. Yeah,
Justin, yeah, congratulations, Justin. Well done.
yeah,
It's
it's
very
very
well
good,
deserved. It's a
very good.
beautiful looking layout, and I can see why Pete Waterman would have picked this one. There's no figures on it, so
There are sheep though.
there are sheep. Yeah, I don't know where Pete stands on sheep. Maybe I can ask him when I meet him.
I think
I
Um,
wouldn't. I wouldn't open with that one.
on the subject of Pete Waterman judging it, I know that between a lot of us there was a very mixed review on Pete Waterman judging it because everyone then suddenly went, "Oh no, Pete's not going to like that," rather than just sort of people being able to be happy with what they had done. The second that Pete Waterman being announced as the judge, everyone had different reasons to panic. Like, I think
I was really worried because obviously I hadn't done Great Western. I'd done Southern, the rival. So oh, well, I'm doomed. So,
I would have instantly worried and gone, oh no, I haven't done Pete Milton Keynes, therefore I'm not going to win. Like it's all these like little things of knowing who the judge is so far down the line. I imagine there was a lot of people, and like you said, the figure thing. It's been documented that Pete Waterman doesn't like or is not a fan of figures on layouts, and making tracks is definitely one of those layouts that doesn't have them. So people who had already at this point taken photos of their layouts with figures on them instantly panicked and went, "Oh, well, I guess that won't go down too well." And obviously joking about it, like the layout that won is a very good layout, but it does sort of suddenly go, "Oh, there's no figures on there as well." Does that make you
yeah,
then worry about
I did say to Chris at Model U, I went, I would have won if it weren't for your pesky figures. So
it?
Well, saying that though, the Project New Street that won the modular that does have figures,
he
Yeah, it
does.
does.
Yes, I did
and
check.
the Mind the Gap, the runner-up on the modular one.
But yeah, but it wasn't just Pete judging. It was other people at Railway Modeler. Pete was just a additional
Yeah,
judge to the team. So I don't think people have to worry about any bias there.
Tom, did you answer the question?
Well, James has covered quite a lot of the. There were only niggles with the sort of the process, really. The only thing that I wasn't 100% sure on was, again, after I'd already submitted the photos, there were lots of chat on RM Web about whether they would allow rolling stock and things that aren't fixed down, because I know with James's photos he'd included locos, is it a traction engine or a steamroller, and then all these
Yeah.
different things, and there's vehicles on certain ones, and I know a friend of mine, Connor Knight, who was also shortlisted for Thornbridge Distillery, he had a loco and rolling stock on his, and there was a lot of discussion around the people that I knew had submitted it about whether these would even be allowed to be judged because they've got rolling stock in the photos. I know George Williamson's one. A lot of his build series was about how he weathered the diesel and the sort of the wagons in that. So it obviously became a big part of it. And then there was this panic at the end of, oh God, I've submitted photos with a, well, it's not even a rolling stock because it doesn't roll, but with a tiny Class 158 on the viaduct. And I thought, do I have to submit them again? And I contacted Peco and I didn't get a very straight answer either way. I think they were quite vague about it, and all the forums were quite vague about it as well. So yeah, that was the kind of worst bit of it, was that panic at the end of whether it would even be accepted.
Yeah, but again, it come down to the fact that all of a sudden it was going to be judged on photos, because I put the rolling stock in the photos because the whole idea was it was to complement the livery with the choice of the autumnal tones.
Yeah,
But I thought, well, look, I'm going to put them in the photo, but you can see that these move around because I've switched the loco between having coaching stock and wagons, so they're obviously clearly not glued down. But I'm just showing you what I've built. The main photo I showed of the board had no rolling stock on it, so like, this is the entry, but this is how
right.
it looks with rolling stock on it.
So are you taking rolling stock along with you to the NEC to put on that module?
No, well, I've not submitted it with the rolling stock because I assumed that's how it would be sent to Pico. I was like, well, look, I'm going to put the photos with rolling stock on it, but obviously they're not glued down. And I'll just send the
Yeah,
bits that are glued down. And then, I mean, I was assuming, and maybe I misread it. I thought the finalists were going to be announced at the show.
yeah, I did as well. Yeah,
Um,
and that's why I was quite
and
surprised. I thought it would be a list of like the 50 who'd made the shortlist in RM Web,
yeah,
in Railway Modeler. But then it was like, oh, okay. It felt a bit like a dejection. Is that what's the word I'm thinking of?
it was a bit of an
Anticlimax?
anticlimax, a bit of an
Yeah,
anticlimax, yeah. Because if I'm pleased as punch I've come runner up, but I felt a bit like, oh, I would have been
you wanted a
probably
crown
would have been more
and a
excited if I'd
podium.
been at the show and picked out that one,
Yeah,
But there we go.
you can
I thought
still
that
wear
I
your
thought
crown at the NEC.
that's it. I thought they were going to pick at the NEC. They'd be like, right, we like the look of U50 layouts. You're all invited. We're going to pick the winner when we're there. We're going to have a look over it in the flesh, and just like because I'm sure there's lots of other layouts there where there's lots of details again that haven't been shown in the photos, or something looks different on camera to what it does in the flesh, and yeah, it's again it surprised me, but
As an outsider, I sat there thinking, and I expressed it to you both. It felt a little bit flat for me because I was sort of looking forward to the fact if you guys go into the show and you were going to like announce it to, this is what happened and stuff like that, and it would have been like this really nice, a little bit like, um, I imagine James has effectively missed out on getting the same treatment that Tom did effectively at the Hornby Awards. Tom got that massive round of applause, which was fantastic for him. And I guess it would have been lovely to have known that at the show they announced that James got runner up, and everyone gave a big whoop and a cheer and sort of thing. And I think I feel like you've been robbed of the fanfare. Is the best way I can word
He
it.
will still get like a little bit of praise on the day, like on
Yeah,
the
but
Sunday. On the Sunday,
yeah,
well, I was told in the email that I had back and forth with Pico that I think about 3 o'clock on the Sunday there'll be a ceremony of some kind giving out the
yeah.
award. So he will still
They're
get
gonna
that.
join all the module layouts together and run a special train, which everyone
Yeah,
reckons is Thomas because it's 80 years of Thomas.
yeah, probably.
Um,
It'll probably be Laurie coming over and
Come
running.
on though. Like let's be really honest. That makes it feel worse because who is there at 3 o'clock on a Sunday at a model train show? Let's be really honest. That
Well,
feels to me, now that you've
I'll
told me
be
that,
there.
yeah, okay, right. You'll be there because you'll be a trader. But Tom, let's be really honest here. Both of us have worked model railway shows. What sort of time does it start racking down on a Sunday on a model train show?
Yeah, there'll still be a few people about on the Sunday at the NEC.
yeah,
It's a bit
yeah.
different to any other show, but yeah, if it was a normal show, you'd do the like when they announce the best layout or whatever at most shows. It's like last thing on the Saturday or the first thing Sunday morning.
May-
When there's
Maybe I'm just being a bit jaded. To me, it feels like you guys are being robbed of. I feel like the end of the Saturday might have been a good one to do rather than doing end of the Sunday. Me personally,
I,
I'm not even there.
I'm more annoyed with the postal system because my copy of Railway Modeler never comes early like it should do because I'm a subscriber. So everyone else got their copy yesterday, but mine always arrives on the Thursday. I'd found out by other people. I didn't even get the privilege of opening up the magazine and going, "Whoa, there it is!" Even that was robbed from me.
I
Although
rest my
Tom,
case.
although, although Tom did kindly go, James, have you looked at Railway Modeler rather than
yeah, I
but
had
I
that thought
guessed
that you
from
might have not seen it yet.
yeah,
Saying that though, somebody posted there was something on Facebook. It was not someone that I follow, but I think because I've been searching Rail200 so much, it came up, and they'd posted probably on Monday or Tuesday that the digital edition was already out. So I don't know if it comes out a lot sooner. And they'd said, well, I've seen that I'm not the winner, so I'm not going to the NEC. I thought, okay, fair enough. I mean, I'm, I'm I'd still take it along, even if I mean I haven't won, but I'd still take it even if I wasn't going anyway. If that makes sense, I
yeah.
think it's
Well, I'm
still
exactly the
quite an
same.
honour to have it shown
I
there.
I went and because obviously the options of getting the layout to Pico was either send it in the post to them, drive to Devon, or they'd picked four model shops, north, south, east, and west. So one in Wakefield, one in Cardiff, one in I think Wakefield. There's another northern place for us. Uh, Gauge Master down in Sussex, and then Trains for You in Peterborough. And it was a case of driving to one of them. I'm not sure why they hadn't picked any at the Central Belt. AGR models or Tony's trains would have been fine for me, but there we go. Uh, it's done was done. But I was like, in the time, I was so pleased that I'd been picked as a finalist. I was like, I don't care if I win or not. I was like, I managed to be picked as a finalist, and my layout's going to go to the NEC, and people get to see it in the flesh. So all my hard work's paid off, kind of thing. So
Yeah,
yeah, I'm not quite sure why some people feel like that. Even if I hadn't won, I still would have, attended and submitted it because I spent months on it. I'd like people to see it.
that's what the hobby's all about, isn't it?
Well, exactly. But very, very unusual. But each to their own, I suppose. But I was never in it to win the money. I just wanted to just build the. It was it was just another excuse to have another project to build another layout, and that's why I did it. And I just, and I bought one for Lenny because I wanted something for him to do as well because he's always wanted to build dioramas. I thought, well, this is a perfect opportunity for him to do a diorama.
Yeah.
But as I say, I was more gutted that he didn't even get selected even as a finalist than, maybe that's where my feeling of anticlimax comes from. It's the fact that I wanted Lenny to at
Well,
least
I
make
hadn't. It
finals.
hadn't twigged to me until you said earlier about the age bracket because a 7-year-old entering is very different to a 16-year-old or 15,
Yeah.
16-year-old. So yeah, I wonder if
Maybe an under
I
10s
don't know.
category would have been better.
I think
Yeah.
so because there is one all under the under 16 categories are all teenagers bar one who was the winner of the modular. So there was Milo Parkinson who done Two Bridge End, this lovely little main line going over a sort of looks a bit like Norfolk, kind of a nice wide river, and a bridge going over there across country on it. And yeah, he's 9 and he won. So congratulations to Milo there. But yeah, everyone else, all the ages are roughly around 13, 14 kind of age. So yeah, you know, my 7-year-old going in up against some teenagers who are allowed to use knives on their own. Yeah, he didn't really have a fighting chance, I suppose. I was kind of hoping he did, but I still like to think that they just looked at it and thought I built it. So
No, it's better than yours.
it is better than mine. He's got an aqueduct on it. His is cool. That was all his idea. But yeah, it would have been nice. I think yeah, they'd done like an under 10, because yeah, it would be a bit like asking a 7-year-old to play football, against a bunch of teenagers. It isn't fair, is it? So, amusing, I'm sure, but
And they should have done under 40s and over 40s as well.
that's yes, that would yeah.
And MRRP listeners and non-MRRP listeners.
MRRP hosts and MRP part-time hosts.
Yeah, which one
Associates.
are you?
Okay. I feel like that's a good point to sort of wrap it up. Is there anything else you want to say about your Pico 200 experience before we take a break?
I really
Uh,
enjoyed it. I mean, I'd love it if they had another competition like that again in the future. It'd be great. I don't need another project like that, but it was fun to do. So
yeah, I enjoyed it as well. It forced me to do something I wouldn't have done otherwise. And if you want to see what we did, um, check out our videos as well because we both filmed them on our respective channels, and come and see them at the NEC
yeah, we did.
because
Yeah,
it'd be good.
yeah. Come this weekend. Come see him. We're both around, and yeah, I look forward to seeing all the entries there. There's some really great stuff in there. I think everyone did a great job, even the ones that didn't get picked as finalists. George, it's uh,
George's was very good,
George's was very good. When we keep
but he's
using
very good
George.
anyway, so that's probably why they didn't bother.
Yeah,
They
that's
probably
good.
saw the name and thought, wow,
Yeah,
you know.
his layer already won Best in Show at the last exhibition he was at, so he's not like he hasn't won anything this year. So he can't feel too downtrodden.
I tell you what this has made me really want to do. I'm glad I didn't enter this, but it did make me want to do something like this again. And we've talked about it previously about doing like a modular design, and definitely in our little group chat, especially there's a big talk on 009 at the moment, and I think maybe having a look, maybe have a word with someone like Joseph who has a laser cutter or something like that about maybe setting up a not competition but like a everyone builds along type thing of doing a modular system. A little bit like the Nearly Competent Modelers Association as well, because that sort of gave me a little bit of inspiration to say this. And I think it'd be really nice. It doesn't necessarily have to meet up and everyone do sit and connect all the layouts together. But I think it would be nice to do, once again, another sort of Pico 200 style, small modular layouts, all in 009, I think is probably the best for us because we're all into it and you can fit a lot in such a small space. But yeah, maybe moving forward, maybe we have a look at doing a sort of a
Maybe
diorama,
a MERP one.
a MERP modular.
MERP modular for Christmas next year. Somehow tie it into a fundraiser. Giving you lots to think about now and
Thanks,
do.
thanks, mate.
Yeah,
Not even
yeah,
done with this
yeah.
one yet.
There you are, Sam. All right, we'll build it out. You sort out the exhibition hall, and then we'll have an exhibition, and people can come see, and we'll raise money that way. Yeah,
I
I think
don't
it sounds
know.
like a great idea.
you get that
That's
sorted.
I
perfect.
don't know why you think that the person who has to edit the podcast has more free time than you.
Let's just
And
go
you know
through
the
job.
nice thing
Let's
about
just go
it as
through job
well.
titles here. I'm
What?
James.
Sorry.
I'm the host.
Yeah,
Tom, who are you?
I'm the co-host.
There we are. And Sam, what's your job title?
Good little southern boy.
Do you believe it's co-host and producer? So therefore, these jobs get thrown on you.
Cool. So that's not going to happen next year then. So we'll have to think of something else. But yeah, no, but once again, well done to both of you. You both did an absolutely amazing job. And I look forward to seeing both of you holding your modules next to each other at the NEC this weekend.
I get a certificate.
Oh, well done. Cool. With that, we're going to take a little break and then we're going to come back with the exhibition diary. Thanks, James. Thanks, Tom.
You there. Oh, me? Do you like model railways? Yes, that's why I'm listening to the Model Rail Replacement podcast. Do you like comedy? No, that's why I'm listening to the Model Rail Replacement podcast. If you like model railways and comedy, head over to Buggleskelly From Dad's Army to Will Hay, Laurel and Hardy to the island of Sodor. Add a comedy cameo to your model railway today. All right, thanks. Buggleskelly Station. You won't be wasting your time.
Well, there we are. We're back then. So, shall we go through the exhibition diary?
Yeah, what have we got on this week? There's nothing really big on, is there?
No, not really. Not unless you are in Stuttgart, Germany. Oh, yes. The International Engage Association Network is having its 19th International Engage Association Convention from Thursday the 20th to Sunday the 23rd of November at Messe Stuttgart in Stuttgart, Germany. Then coming back over to England, we've got the North Downs Model Railway Circle meeting on the Saturday the 22nd at Barnstead Winter Model Railway Exhibition, third Barnstead Scout Group in the Scout Bridge in Barnstead, Surrey. Fens Model Railway Club's having an open day on the 22nd at the King Edward Centre at 3 King Edward Road in Chatteris, Cambridgeshire. The Bedfordshire 16mm narrow gauge area group steaming beds, the Eaton Bray Village Hall at Church Lane in Eaton Bray near Dunstable in Bedfordshire. There's also the Guildford O Gauge Group's GOG Winter Exhibition and Trade Day at the Spectrum Leisure Centre in Parkway, Guildford, Surrey. On Saturday the 22nd as well, Kings Lynn Model Railway Club Open Day at the Grimston Village Hall in Cliff on Howe Road in Kings Lynn, Norfolk. Then there's, damn, I thought there wasn't a Welsh one in here, but there is, so I was going to make Tom read these out, just so I could laugh at someone. Right, this one is Deganaway Railway Modellers, Degorney Railway Modellers, Model Railway Exhibition at Craigyadon Community Centre, Queens Road, Llandudno in Conway. I got Llandudno right.
No, you didn't.
Did I not? Llandudno.
I think it's a Llandudno.
Oh, it's 2 hours and it's Llandudno, isn't it? Anyway, yeah. In Llandudno. Look, if you live in Wales, you know where I mean. You wince at the words, but you know exactly where I mean. All right? So there, George. Right. Then, all weekend, the big exhibition, 22nd to 23rd, the Warner's Exhibitions, a National Festival of Railway Modelling 2025 at the National Exhibition Centre in Pendango Way, Birmingham, West Midlands. It's not even Pendagno, even that one's read wrong. Pendigno? Even Birmingham's getting me now.
Just say the NEC.
It's at the NEC. You know where it is. Get the train. Yeah. There's the Thornbury and South Gloucestershire Model Railway Club's annual exhibition all weekend at the Tunberries Community Centre in Bath Road, Thornbury, Avon. And that is all for this coming weekend. You know, the exhibition diary was my idea, and each week I just humiliate myself with Welsh word after Welsh word, or the occasional English word. And there we go. And that's it. Sam, was there something we need to go about? Oh yeah, that's it. Our friends over at the shunting yard, the Sugar Babes of the model railway world, would just like us to let you know that they are back on live every Thursday. At what time?
At 8 p.m. on a Thursday night.
Yeah, so it's at 8 o'clock on a Thursday. Unfortunately, that's no good for us. We're recording, but you know, you could listen. There we are. I mean, if they could find a different day of the week, you know, be great, lads. Just saying. Anyway, there we are. Right, that's enough shouting out for people, except for ourselves. Let's start with Tom. Tom, how can people find you?
Well, you can find me at on YouTube at Buggleskelly Station and search for Buggleskelly Station on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Blue Sky, Threads, probably. All of the things, and I'll be at the NEC this weekend. And if you're around on the Sunday morning, I'm doing the YouTubers panel alongside Dawnquest and Chris Peachy. So 11 o'clock on Sunday morning at the NEC. Should be good fun. and absolutely nothing controversial will happen.
Excellent stuff. I'm going to be there just in case something controversial does happen. Sam, how can they find you?
If you want to get hold of me, you can find me on Instagram at emperors_path. Alternatively, you can find me on YouTube at Emperor's Path. Sometimes you can find me on Facebook at Emperor's Path. James, how can we get hold of you?
I'm just on YouTube and Instagram as Western Signalman, but don't forget that the Model Rail Replacement Podcast is on Instagram. It's on Facebook, but I won't bother looking for it there. We're on YouTube. Please do go there and subscribe, boost our numbers up, and get the podcast more heard across YouTube. That would be wonderful. We are also on email. It's modelrailrp@outlook.com. That wraps it all up for this week then. All I can say is that hopefully we've been entertaining, informative, and replaced your model railway, if only just for a little bit. I've been your host, James, and with me has been Tom and Sam. Thanks for listening.
This service terminates here. Please ensure you take all of your personal belongings with you.
Hello, listeners. We've got some very exciting news. Do you want to be part of the podcast? Do you want to join the team? Well, an exciting opportunity has come up to allow you to be part of the Model Rail Replacement Podcast. And here's Sam with the details.
This episode is brought to you by Patreon. A huge thank you to our Patreons for their support. If you'd like to help support the show, you can head over to Patreon and search Model Rail Replacement Podcast, where you can show your support and be part of the team.
Hurry, there's unlimited places.